and my personal adventures each and every day of the work week. I have in front of me an open bottle of pain reliever. I can only take Tylenol or acetaminophen because of the one kidney thing. The other, the NSAIDs, like Advil and Aleve, are processed by the kidneys, and since I only have one, they don't like that. So I say, all right, just take the Tylenol. But because it's processed by the liver, but it doesn't really matter what it is because it's not helping. I am in now it seems like a never-ending ordeal with this shoulder. By the way, my face looks completely bleached out right now because the sun is burning in here. You can tell I'm incredibly cranky. My apologies for that. I don't like starting the show with, oh, yeah, I'm mad about everything. Bah, humbug. But I'm kind of at my wit's end. I reached out to my doctor today on the old, what do you call it? My chart. And I said, look, man, it's getting worse. This shoulder is becoming more and more of an issue. Nearly everything that I do, I'm numb, pins and needles. It hurts. It's aching. And I'm to a point now where I'm spending a lot of my time trying to focus on using my left hand for everything. So I'm trying to like manipulate the mouse, and I'm fucking doing it wrong. It's stupid. But I'm still using the right. And then anytime I do use my right hand, it's this stupid shooting pain going down my arm, and then my hand goes numb. And he's like, all right. Remember, he gave me the prednisone, and for 5 days I felt great. Just as predicted, as soon as I stopped taking that, everything comes back. And I'm like, okay, so I have this rehab, this physical rehabilitation that is set to begin next Wednesday. But it's like, look, yeah, I don't know if it works where that makes the pain go away, but I'm fucked up. So I reached out to my man Byers today, and I'm like, look, buddy, this is really bad. And he says, he reaches back and says, did the prednisone do anything for you? Well, yeah. So hopefully he'll give me some more of that. I don't know. I don't give a shit what the hell it is I take. Right now, if he said, I want you to snort some cocaine, I've got it waiting for you at the pharmacy. Go get some coke. I'd say, okay. My God. All right. The top story today is Kansas City Chiefs place kicker Harrison Butker. Prior to yesterday, the only thing interesting about Harrison Butker was the fact that he kicks the ball well, and his name is Butker. As it stands, Butker was invited to do the commencement speech. Is it Benedictine University? Yes, it is. Benedictine College, which is somewhere in Missouri or Kansas. I don't know. In the area of where he plays football. It's a private Catholic institution. And they asked him to do the, hey, can you speak to our graduates? So, all right. And he writes out what he's going to say. And so, typically on these speeches, I think it'd be a great opportunity to, encourage the graduating class to, seize the day, carpe diem. That's all you got to do. You just got to say carpe diem a few times and congratulate them on their hard work. And maybe some words of wisdom. Granted, he's only 29 years old, so I don't know how much wisdom Harrison Butker has. I tell you what he does have a lot of, and that is bullshit between the ears. Because this motherfucker steps up to the podium and lays waste. Let's go right to, in my opinion, the worst part of all of this. I'll get to some of the other finer details, the shots that he takes to various groups of people. But this one in particular, I think, was the most ridiculous. Let's get right to it. This is Harrison Butker and his thoughts on women.
The world is enlightened by your example. For the ladies present today, congratulations on an amazing accomplishment. You should be proud of all that you have achieved to this point in your young lives. I want to speak directly to you briefly because I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now about to cross this stage and are thinking about all the
women, you've had the most diabolical lies told to you.
Promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world.
I don't know about that. By the way, the kid cries right on cue. I don't know if I would be, if I'd be willing to stick my neck out and suggest to a bunch of young women, yeah, I bet you're most excited about having babies. I don't know if I would do that in any forum.
You are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world.
That right there is, if he ended with saying just that, that would be enough to make people hate his guts. I bet all you graduates who've worked hard putting all this work into graduate, you're most excited with having babies and getting married.
I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother.
Oh, no. My wife's vocation, her job is wife and mom. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And she may have wanted that. But I don't think that what you're suggesting is a one-size-fits-all.
I'm on this stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation. I'm beyond blessed with the many talents God has given me, but it cannot be overstated that all of my success is made possible because a girl I met in band class back in middle school.
Oh, he's got free beer tears.
Would convert to the faith, become my wife.
Sniff into the microphone. Be like Greg.
And embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker.
What? Okay, all right. She's embraced the most important title of all, homemaker. All right. Maybe that works for Isabel. And they love him. He has won them over. They're like, yes, girls, I know you just put in all this time, but it's time to go out there and have some babies. This guy couldn't look like more of a smug fuck, by the way.
She's a primary educator to our children. She's the one who ensures I never let football or my business become a distraction from.
By the way, this is all coming from a guy who makes millions of dollars every year to kick a football. His wife has the luxury of staying at home. Okay. Not everybody has that luxury. In fact, most don't.
That of a husband and father. She is the person that knows me best at my core, and it is through our marriage that, Lord willing, we will both attain salvation. I say all of this to you because I have seen it firsthand, how much happier someone can be when they disregard the outside noise and move closer and closer to God's will in their life.
Okay, so you're getting an idea right away about what makes Harrison Butker tick, okay? This speech of his caught a lot of people off guard, and there's plenty more that is involved in this. Scooby Axon from USA Today has a piece. He writes, Chiefs Harrison Butker strikes against Pride Month, lauds wife's role as homemaker. He attacked Pride Month and transgender folks. Talked about the coronavirus pandemic, blaming it all on Biden while also telling women to get back into the kitchen. The school is a liberal arts school in Atchison, Kansas. Quote, he started beating up Pride Month and what he called dangerous gender ideologies. Whenever anybody starts spewing off the gender shit, acting like right, wrong, good, bad, all that shit, those are the people that I pray to baby Jesus the most about so that they have gay kids. I want the hardcore Catholic like Harrison Butker to one day have gay kids. And I wonder what you do then. Okay? Because I wasn't that much of a hardcore Catholic. I was pretty Catholic. But then I realized I was a goddamn hypocrite. And I said, you know what? I can't be both the father of a gay child and a Catholic. So fuck that shit. I'll just pray to baby Jesus in a different place. I am not doing this. We are not doing this. Quote, not the deadly sins sort of pride. This is another quote. Not the deadly sins sort of pride that has an entire month dedicated to it, Butker said, but the true God-centered pride that is cooperating with the Holy Ghost to glorify him. Pride Month, of course, has been celebrated in June since 1969. By the way, we're just half a month away from Pride Month, and your old pal EZ will be wearing the free dad hug shirt to all of the local gays who have been ostracized by their family and are cast out. Cast out, we cast thee out, you will not be here, because thy likest a dick in thy asshole. He goes on to, he talks about, he shared his thoughts on COVID-19. Quote, while COVID might have played a large role throughout your formative years, it is not unique, Butker said. No, I would say it's pretty much unique. I can't remember the last time a disease killed 1.5 million people around the globe. Gonna have to disagree with you there, Harrison. Any dude with the first name of Harrison, you know, is a smug fuck. Quote, the bad policies and poor leadership have negatively impacted major life issues. Things like abortion, IVF, surrogacy, euthanasia. See, a lot of these hardline Catholics, which he is, I listened to this whole speech. Not only does he have a hard line about things like what I just talked about, abortion, IVF, surrogacy, euthanasia, as well as growing support for what he calls the degenerate cultural values and media, all stem from pervasiveness of disorder. So he's saying pervasiveness of disorder attribute to abortion, IVF, surrogacy, euthanasia, as well as supporting people like my daughter. Yeah, he's a hardcore Catholic. He makes the bishops go, ooh. And he actually calls out in that speech various priests, because there are a lot of priests that don't have that approach that the kicker for the Chiefs does. Okay? And I wouldn't be surprised if the Catholic Church is like, yeah, we're trying to put all of that shit behind us, and here you are going back to 1952, you fuck. What an asshole. So he's calling out priests at parishes, because it depends. If you go to one parish, you might have a priest there who's very liberal, okay? And though he would have to ultimately abide by what the Vatican says is the doctrine, but you do get very liberal priests at some types of parishes. Not all of them. There are some that are the other side, more radical, like this guy is. But I have never, ever heard of a priest be so radical my way or the highway attitude on things than someone like the kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, when it comes to life, there is, you create a baby the old-fashioned way, and there is no contraception to be used whatsoever. These are all mortal sins. If you pound your pud, that's a mortal sin. The bad policies and poor leadership have negatively impacted major life issues, things like abortion, IVF. So if you, the in vitro fertilization, that is a mortal sin. You cannot do that. It's like, yeah, you fucking idiots made up all these rules. Okay? And dumb shits like me ate it up for the longest time. Never again. Never again. And then the growing support for the degenerate cultural values. So Harrison Butker is saying, for you folks who are gay, you are part of the degenerate cultural values. Wow. And then the quote, I can tell you that my beautiful wife Isabel will be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and a mother. God, even saying it makes me embarrassed. I'm on this stage and able to be the man that I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation. I am beyond blessed with many talents God has given me. No, you've got one talent. Two talents. Being a fucking asshole and kicking a football a mile. He kicked a 62-yarder, by the way, this year. Incredible. The guy can kick the shit out of the ball. Let's see. I think it is the women who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. What a fucking thing to say. You've got however many women there who've spent a great deal of time, money, energy to become educated, higher education, and you say in front of them, yeah, I bet you're most excited about getting married and having babies. What the fuck? If you're the Chiefs, you're like, God damn it. Now what? We got a guy who can kick the football through brick walls, and he's a fucking asshole. I would fucking fire him immediately. I was like, you know what? There's a lot of good kickers out there. Go fuck yourself, you fucking asshole. What a piece of shit. My God, is this guy something else? And the smugness, the arrogance of all of this. David in Hudsonville backing up says, yeah, we told you the pain would return when you were done with those pills. Skip the PT, see the chiropractor already. What part of you makes you think that you have any acumen in giving medical advice, newsman? Are you fucking serious? How could you possibly say that? I wouldn't dare tell you that, idiot. Chris says rehab will help for sure. I had a similar issue and the drugs just worked temporarily, but PT and chiro fixed it. All right, well, maybe. Rebecca refers to Harrison as an asshole. Bob says, did he drop a Hail Satan? Becky says, had that been my graduation ceremony, I would have booed so loudly. Does no one look at that speech beforehand? You're absolutely right. And all those people that heard it, why didn't anybody speak up? That'd be a perfect opportunity to go, yeah, fuck you. My God. Kyle, one of the gays listening, writes, quote, never mind all this debt you've taken on. You'll feel more fulfilled while lying on your back with your legs in the air. Becky adds, seriously, though, fuck Harrison Butker. Rebecca echoes what I said. Yeah, he makes a lot of money where she can do that. Joe Pellerito writes, my wife, quote, my wife, who doesn't need to work because of my profession, supports me as a wife and mother. So, ladies, find yourself an NFL player. I think the most embarrassing thing Harrison Butker said was the line about most of you are probably very excited to be wives and mothers. The fuck is wrong with you? And his stupid bitch wife has to put. I mean, she has to act like that's okay. She's either biting her tongue because she doesn't want to piss him off. She's probably abused, either mentally or physically, and she's too much of a coward to stand up to this prick and say, "Yeah, that was you. You missed the mark so badly. You actually went in the other direction." And you're right. Why didn't anybody from Benedictine review what this dumb motherfucker said and, say, dude, this is fucked up. You can't say this shit in front of people. You goddamn caveman. What the fuck? Blue State Rob says he looks like QAnon shaman trying to be Ruth Bader Ginsburg for Halloween. Home run, Kumia. Bob says, yes, all you Daves need to be barefoot and pregnant in my kitchen. Patrick writes, Pat McAfee should challenge him to a match at SummerSlam. Blue State Rob says, some of the most judgmental people I know are Catholic. My God. Chris says, how's the church search going? I've been struggling with the same ideas you've talked about on the show and church. So I'm curious what you found, if you don't mind sharing. There's a Methodist church in Jenison and another church. I forgot the name of it. It's the one I went to. That send me an email. And by the way, I got your info about the time change. Don't even worry about it. 7 o'clock Friday. 7 o'clock Friday, we're going to kick that shit around at Davenport University. Isn't his mother a psychologist or something? Butker, I don't know. Fuck, I didn't know who the fucking guy was. I wouldn't. If he walked up to me in the street, I wouldn't even know who he was. Now I do. Kenny says Catholic priests are the modern-day Pharisees, making up all kinds of extra rules as they see fit. Kenny says Chiefs replace him tomorrow, I bet. Nick in the arena says, I hope he gets Theismanned on the first play. Chris in GR says this man thinks The Handmaid's Tale is an instruction manual. Chris says he doesn't see himself as dumb or arrogant, though, is the crazy part. Amy says he probably thinks most women go to college to get an MRS degree, like a Mrs. degree. My God. Blue State Rob says just open Eric Zane's big fraud gay church. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I'm telling you, the one church we went to, and I forgot the name of it. Dan and I walk in, and it was so gay. I'm like, I feel right at home here, honey. I don't think I shook hands or hugged a person that was representative of their birth gender. I hugged one person who on the first hug was a dude, and then I turned around and ran into him again, gave him a hug, and the person was a chick. Changed that quickly. I was like, okay, this is where I need to be. This is the most fantastic thing I've ever been part of in my entire life. Chris says everybody knows you go to college to find a husband. That's what sororities are for. Corey says, LOL, the title is from yesterday. Amateur hour. Not on my end. Thanks for that, though. I appreciate your help. So anyway, that's Harrison Butker. I'm anxious to see how this unfolds going forward. What people have to say about him, and what the Chiefs say. I mean, how would you respond? Like if you don't plan on getting rid of Harrison Butker, you probably have to say something, right? I mean, most people, I would guess, don't feel that way. If I'm the Chiefs, I would say we do not support any of these ridiculous things that Harrison Butker has said. You have to basically not support him. You have to distance yourself from him. You know? All right. Eric Zane, big fraud, gay church slogan, where scissoring and sucking cock in the pews is encouraged. That's horrible. Come on now. It was quite a event yesterday. I was working over at Bosco's Pub, and I ran into Jason Bennett, who said one of the dumber things I've heard in a long time. And this is what happens. This is one of those things I've talked about before that was like, careful, or I just might talk about this on the podcast. It's on one of my coffee mugs somewhere. And he comes in every Tuesday with his better half, Stacy. And a couple of his pals are with him. So, like, the crowd is getting bigger. They're occupying 3 or 4 seats at the bar. Now, Jason's kind of an odd duck to begin with. He'll probably tell you that too. But somehow he uttered something, and I was like, wait a minute. And I forget the context. And he said, I don't hate anybody except all cops. So then I walked away. And then I come back. I go, wait a minute. Did you just say you hate all cops? Who? What? Huh? Why? Why would you? What's going on there? Who hurt you, bro? He says, yeah. All they do, they're just hired muscle for politicians. It's like, dude, quit being retarded. Okay? Are you telling me that the dude who pulls me over for doing 70 in a 55 is doing this to help a politician? Can't they just enforce the law? Are you this tightly wound that you think that this is what that cops have some type of agenda to support politicians? What? Come on. Get out of your fucking own head. Stop it. Jesus Christ. I go, you can't paint with that broad of a brush, you asshole. That's ridiculous. You cannot think that way. That's as bad as Harrison Butker, you dumb fuck. And by the way, you saying that, you know who heard that? Uh-oh. Somebody within earshot of you and me whose dad is a retired cop. Uh-oh. Oh, you were talked about plenty. You were talked about plenty. Both while you were still there, behind your back, after you left. Everyone's like, can you believe that guy? You were called an ignorant slob because of that stupid comment, you moron. That's what my ears heard. Just ignorant. I can't believe it. I go, what? Person says to me, yeah, my dad's a retired cop. I go, is he working for the politicians? Is he hated by everyone? Person goes, no, he was an undercover narcotics officer. He did his best to keep our streets clean from drugs and drug dealers. He was shot at many times. He was injured on the job many times. His life was threatened numerous times. He fought hard for good, peace, and justice in the American way. He had to retire early because the stress almost killed him. Oh, I hate all cops. You dick. What the fuck? Get the fuck out of here with that I hate all cops shit. Jesus. All right. Joe Martinez says, bullshit. You don't do 70. You're one of those jackasses that drives like an old lady. All right, well, maybe. Don't get bogged down with the details. Let's suggest that I was getting pulled over for doing 50 in a 75. That's probably more likely. All right. Thank you, as always, for watching the show on Facebook, X, and YouTube. I feel a little better now that I've warmed up. I don't know if it's talking with my hands like this or what, but I actually don't feel as bad as I did when I started. Showbro Michael 91 says, yeah, fuck that guy, and bet that he's the first one to call cops for help when something is wrong. Yes. You got to lose that shitty attitude about cops. Sure, some of them like to kill black people, but not all of them. Come on now. I support cops, but I'm also not one of these people who says support the blue no matter what the fuck is going on. I love cops, but if one of them fucks up and does something stupid, I'm going to be the first one to talk about it. I can guarantee you that. The same way I'll be the first one to talk about a dumb fuck kicker like Harrison Butker and the stupid bullshit that he says. Or maybe the stupid shit that one of you ding-dongs does. Blue State Rob says, my brother-in-law is a cop. He hated being a beat cop, pulling people over. He now is an investigator for a major crimes unit because he can arrest real criminals. Not all cops are pulling people over. Thank you for the tidbit of information that does nothing to further this conversation. Corey says, I'm only bothered when cops won't hold other cops accountable. Well, let's hope that they do. And if they don't, they should be held accountable. Jimmy says, I'm glad I learned to put pennies in my mouth when I get stopped. I don't know if that works. Blue State Rob says, you read it, dickhead. Well, I try to read the comments on the show, especially the ones that don't further anything. Here, I'm just going to give you a tidbit of information that doesn't do anything, but talks about my brother-in-law and how cool he is. Shut up! All right. Thanks to the folks watching on Facebook, X, and YouTube. I'm going to cut you loose. The rest of the show is on Twitch. Follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live, or download the Twitch app and then search Eric Zane Live. Patreon is there for you. Sign up for free for 7 days. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. We have a Big Fraud Thursday kicking off tomorrow in the 6 o'clock hour Eastern time, where we will do Who Are These Zanes? We'll go back to Knoxville again for Billy Kid and EZ, and then feature another Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. That all happens tomorrow on a Big Fraud Thursday. But I'm going to cast you all off. Thank you so much, Facebook, X, and YouTube.